You're watching Rogers TV.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of West Talk. I'm your host, Dustin Parsons. Really happy to be back in the studio with you for another episode. Today, we've got an exciting interview, somebody joining us remotely, and as well, we are going to be speaking to the fine venues around the city of Corner Brook. We're going to check in up at the Civic Center, the Arts and Culture, the Rotary Arts, see who has events to talk about coming up in the month of October. And of course, right now, such a beautiful time here in Western Newfoundland. It's definitely fall. We've got cruise ships coming left, right, center, tourists bustling on the streets. It's just been such an amazing, vibrant time. I really think that fall is the best time of the year here in Western Newfoundland. And so we're going to touch on that a little bit actually with our guest today. I'm really happy to have on the line a friend and an entrepreneur who's been getting more familiar with Western Newfoundland over the last few years. This individual is probably one of Canada's most accomplished CEOs, often referred to, in the group of, in the top 40, under 40. His name is Alex McLean, and Alex started a business called East Coast Lifestyle as a university project over, I think, 11 years ago now. And within just a few years, Alex had sold, first 30, then 60, then 100, and then hundreds of thousands of hoodies in just his first few years of business. And now I imagine there's millions of East Coast Lifestyle hoodies floating around. People love the brand, people identify with it, and Alex is on a mission to make East Coast Lifestyle a global brand. Just opened up a new flagship location in Halifax, and lots more stuff on the go. And on the heels of an amazing week here in Western Newfoundland, we now have on the line from his home in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Mr. Alex McLean. Alex, thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, good morning, Dustin. How are you?
I'm good, man. We wanted to have you in studio, but your tour guide had too much of a jammed itinerary for you there last week, and we couldn't make it happen. So thanks for carving out some time in your day today, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a great 5-day trip there in Newfoundland with you, and we were go the whole time. So I guess the business stuff went to the back of the oven, I guess you could say there. But we had a great time hiking, off-roading, fishing, exploring, golfing. There was so many great things to do there in Western Newfoundland. So thanks again for an amazing trip.
Yeah, no worries, man. It was so great to show you guys around as always. And I guess we might as well just jump right into that. Like, I think people are starting to notice that you're coming to Western Newfoundland kind of disproportionately often. The East Coast is a big place, but you seem to keep retreating back here to Western Newfoundland. What's going on? I know you like it here, but maybe you can explain a little bit more about why this seems like a worthwhile place to come.
Geez, it's really hard to focus in on one reason why, but I love the people, the food, the scenery, the things to do. Like in a 24-hour stint, we did fishing for cod. We got like 10 fish. We did 2 rounds of golf with epic scenic views looking over water and amazing islands. And then we had, the best seafood I've had in a long time. And also went zipline and conquered the fear of heights in like literally 24 hours. So, and you were there for all of that. So it's just amazing to see what you can do there. And I think it's still a hidden gem in a way where people don't really know all the amazing things you can do over there. And my legs are still sore from Gross Moran Mountain hike, but I think it was one of the nicest and most kind of rewarding experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, man. And you guys absolutely killed that hike. It was just, without getting too much into it for the audience, we planned to do one particular hike that was about half as long and half as hard as the one we ended up doing, just as a kind of a plan B. So I'm glad you guys were up for the challenge. And what are your thoughts on kind of the city here? We've been exploring around Western Newfoundland a lot with you over the last few years, but what's your kind of impressions on Corner Brook as the economic center of this whole area?
I think it's a beautiful city. I love to see all the cruise ship traffic there. Like, I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, where we get the cruise ships just like you guys. And as you know, when they get off the boats, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people walking around. They don't know what to do, where to go, where the best watering holes are, where to get food. So it's just amazing to see Corner Brook is literally doing the same thing as Halifax with a whole nother kit of to-do lists of things to do, hike Gross Moor and go ATVing. You can ATV every street downtown Corner Brook. So I just thought it was really cool to see. And every year I come back, the city's getting bigger and busier. So it's great that you guys have that economy boost with the cruise ships, but also you get the local traffic buzzing around. And every year, like I said, it's getting busier. So it's great to see.
Yeah, Halifax is a good example of kind of what can be in terms of accommodating the cruise ships and the tourists. Halifax does a great job right now. Their waterfront is just beautiful, so well developed. And I think you'll see Corner Brook continue to grow that direction, over the next few years. And our downtown core now is a lot of fun, right? All these great little spots we checked out and craft breweries
Yep.
and all this type of stuff. It's awesome. So just to touch on a little bit, I want to get into your story a little bit, if you don't mind, and just kind of catch people up on really what you do and where you are with your company. In the introduction, we talked about just your inception as like a university project that really got out of hand really fast. Catch us up on just the last few months, I guess. Some things I'd like to hear about is your new store that you just opened up in Halifax. And I know even you have now an East Coast Lifestyle Foundation, like a not-for-profit arm that's doing different events and things. Can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you the elevator pitch on the company really quick. So you touched on how it all started, but I was in an entrepreneurship class. 8 people were in the course. They said, make an invention, go home, come back with a business plan on paper in 2 weeks, and you have a little bit of time to get your ideas ready. So I was watching Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, trying to figure out what am I going to do. I don't really have a lot of skills outside of like entrepreneurship, to be honest with you. I was always a struggling student in school, not great at tests, but I love to kind of get my head spinning at night with Shark Tank and try to think about opportunities. So I thought about, there's no real clothing brand for the East Coast, and the lifestyle is so unique, and so everyone's so proud of that, So I really didn't know, how am I going to create a brand for that? And so this logo, this brand name, really, once the first 30 hoodies were sold, I was able to buy 60 more hoodies and then 100 hoodies and so forth. But I didn't have this logo at the time. It was just words on a hoodie that said East Coast Lifestyle. So it was slow starting. I would sell 30, then 60, then 90, then 100. Over 1 month period, maybe 30 units at a time. So slow growth. But then when I drew this logo, the demand really skyrocketed. So I got a call from Sidney Crosby's mom saying she wants some stuff and this is how to do it. Go to the rink, drop it off to him at a certain time. So I went over, dropped the stuff off to him. He walked out the rink with the shirt on. And once he got to California and people started photographing with him, like, oh, a picture with Sidney Crosby. He had the shirts on 24/7. So huge shout out to Sidney Crosby, because when he did that, it really was our first taste of influencer marketing and the power of a celebrity wearing brand. And I was a 21-year-old person at the time, so I didn't really know the power of this. But you can imagine how many hockey players between the ages of 5 and 21 wanted what Sidney Crosby's wearing, So he's a very powerful influencer in the world of hockey and also just in society and the world. And so when he put it on, it really changed my life, honestly. And then after that, people like Brad Marchand, Nathan McKinnon, Ed Sheeran, Ashton Kutcher, Keenan Thompson, Alicia Phaneuf, Dion Phaneuf, all these people started to really wear the brand, rock it in, and they were like proud of the East Coast. Then people started to send in stories. Like I was walking in the West Edmonton Mall and I had my East Coast Lifestyle hoodie on and I saw this beautiful girl in the mall and she had East Coast Lifestyle on as well. So I went up to talk to her to see where she was from. And then that alone is my aha moment. And so it's connecting people with wearing the brand together, going up and saying, oh, where are you from? I'm from Gander, Newfoundland. I'm from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And then they connect basically because of the brand. And then 6 months later, those two in that mall got married and all the people in their wedding wore East Coast Lifestyle, which we thought was amazing. But that was really the aha moment of, if this brand is really built for connecting people, and I'm just the kind of person allowing people to wear the quality gear. And my goal is to make the gear better every year, better quality, and make it cool, I care about longevity, customer service. We really care about all that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And try to give people good products so that when they come back, they're stoked on the quality and they wear it a lot and they like how it is. So
yeah.
Since then, now we're 11 years in. So now my job has changed drastically over those years. We're up to 35 staff, heavy payroll. We just built a building for the last 3 years to try to get a real location for East Coast Lifestyle that we're proud of, essentially a face of the business. When you come to visit, that's what we wanted to be an example of for us. So we put 8 years of hard work and savings into this building. It took 3 years to build it. Now we're 11 years in. And so last year, our big advancement was to really get a charity foundation locked in so that we can give back money to the youth entrepreneurs here in Atlantic Canada. So we started the East Coast Lifestyle Foundation, and that whole premise is to be able to give back to youth entrepreneurs going into university or trades or any kind of college. So last year we gave away $30,000 with Career Beacon, so 10 different people won scholarships going back to school. And then this year we did it again with Career Beacon and Wilson's as an added sponsor, and actually hooked up some of the trades kids going into their first year of NSCC, NBCC. So it's really cool to be able to kind of have that full circle moment now. And when I started out with that $800 loan from my dad, now we're giving people $2,500 to go back to school. And a lot of these kids that are winning, the 10 winners this year, they're smarter than I was at that age. I was 17 going into university going into biology. Didn't know what I wanted to do at all, and just not doing great in school. But I pivoted after 2 years of that and kind of switched into business, and it got a little better for me. But I always tell people you don't have to know what you want to do when you get there. You just have to figure it out, make mistakes, and learn from those, and try to not make them twice. And hopefully you can get to do something that you really like to do and follow your passion.
Yeah, amazing, man. Well said. And it's so cool to see your brand grow from putting clothing on, guys like Sidney Crosby, and now you've got even volunteer Rogers TV hosts in places like Corner Brook repping this stuff. How the levels to the game, you just keep going up in the levels. So congratulations. And, Alex, I think one of the things that I've always admired about you the most is your entrepreneurship story and actually how that relates to the East Coast lifestyle. I think growing up in the East Coast, there's not some of the same opportunities as there might be in other places of Canada or in the world, right? And so I think entrepreneurship is actually the way out for a lot of young Canadians who maybe they're not going to have the same shot in other areas, but we can all be our own boss, right?
100%.
You might not be able to get a job, but you can give yourself a job. And so, and now as young Canadians as well, people have great internet connections all over, even Newfoundland. So is there any message that you would send to maybe if there's a young person watching this right now, or maybe a parent who has a young person, a teenager who's maybe struggling in school a little bit, doesn't seem to know a path, but is demonstrating entrepreneurial traits or has that kind of spark? What do you think is just one simple thing that they can do to start to move in that direction? Is there a simple hustle that they can look into? Just what would you say to that aspiring entrepreneur who lives in rural East Coast Canada?
So question for you before I answer. So how much free time would you say you have a day? I know you have a son, a wife, a dog, tons of stuff on the go, but would you have a little bit of free time per day?
Me, yes, I still have a little bit of free time a day.
Yeah, so at the time when I was starting this thing, I kind of bucketed my free time. I was like, I have this 3-hour gap per day where it's free time. What do I want to do? Do I want to go to the kegger, or do I want to start a business? And so I was just literally head down business and using that little spare time gap in my day to literally try to make something better a little bit every day by day. And so people always think I don't have a week to just take off work and put my head down and create a clothing brand. Well, you actually could do 2 hours a day for a week and maybe do it for 2 to 3 weeks, and then that's the same kind of time crunch overall. But smarter, not harder is really important, and just really using your spare time to make the most of it and follow your passion is the most important thing for me, I think. So I would do this for free. I think it's really cool to be able to pencil and paper draw clothing and then take it to the computer and have it go digital and then get it actually put onto a t-shirt and then see it kind of come to life with people wearing it, walking the streets, or color blocking stuff up, choosing Pantones and stuff. But I love this stuff. So really it's about following your passion. What would you do for free? And then finding a way to create, products that are fulfilling an opportunity in the market. So for me, at the East Coast Lifestyle, there was no brand that really represented East Coasters, Atlantic Canadians. So I tried to think about how can I fulfill this opportunity in the market? But again, it comes down to maybe in Western Newfoundland, there's not a certain business that's there right now. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of one. But when we were there, we got to see amazing entrepreneurs like Craig, who runs Rugged Edge in Corner Brook, who started his company as a young man in his low 20s and bet on himself to go get a ton of snowmobiles before he even had people renting them, so that he had the inventory so that he could go do his dream of taking 5-10 people on those amazing trails every day. And that's an entrepreneur, man. He got his stuff, he bet on himself, he rolled the dice, he went slowly, strategically, and grew his company every year. And it's amazing to see how big Rugged Edge has grown. And even Darren with Cox's Cove with his Four Seasons tours, like Darren's amazing at it as an entrepreneur and as an outdoorsman, fisherman, angler. To be able to, run successful tours 4 seasons and to be able to get people out there having fun every day and he's got his camera in his hand, taking photos, putting it on social media. And so it's amazing to see people think entrepreneurship is so difficult, but really you have to break it down to what makes you happy. What would you get out of bed to do for free? And then how can you make money or make a career out of it, really? So those are 2 key examples I saw in Newfoundland that I thought were entrepreneurs in their own lanes, doing their own thing, but also the competition isn't as strong in some of those areas. So if you're doing it right and you're doing it really great, we went to see Darren last year with Four Season Tours and it was amazing. So we went back again this year and, did it again and we got a ton of content and we're going to tag him and shout him out and stuff. So we hope that allows his entrepreneurship business to grow and kind of take flight even more every year.
Alex, man, you're such an interesting dude. There's so much to talk about, and 10 minutes just isn't enough, but there it is. We just roasted through it. I want to get you back in February because I know you're going to come back, and we'll get you in studio then. Love to hear more about what you have going on. And I know the people that you just mentioned, Craig and Darren, those guys really appreciate it, spending that time with you as well and just swapping little ideas here and there entrepreneurially. It was really nice to see it happen. So thanks again, man, for spending some time in our neck of the woods last week, and can't wait to see you again soon, buddy.
Yeah, it's looking like Jib Fest February 21, 23 with some snowmobiling with Rugged Edge, so I can't wait to get back already. And thanks again for everything that you did for us on the last visit.
No problem, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. And that was Alex McLean, CEO and founder of East Coast Lifestyle. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with the events of the month in Corner Brook. Stay tuned.
My biggest therapy is Mother Nature. When I walk through the woods, I'm seeing a little bit more than just a tree and just a plant. I see what I can do with it. I make medicines and salves from plants and trees. In 2014, I suffered with a heart attack. Since I had my heart attack, obviously there were some Western medications involved. And on top of the Western medication, I have found myself nature-wise, and medicines provided by Mother Nature has helped me a lot. With nature, I have burned sage and sweetgrass. I find that that cleanses the air and, helps you cleanse your body. It also helps me talk to my ancestors. That has helped me through this whole process. I feel responsible as a Mi'kmaq person to help Mother Nature. We look at everything, whether it is a rock or a tree, as life. When I collect my medicines, I'm offering tobacco to thank the plant for the medicine. So the plant will, give me medicine again the following year. It's a part of the big whole. Right now we're standing in the middle of a boreal forest. I can look around, I can see birch trees. Birch tree, for example, there's so many things you can do with that. That is the tree of life. Aboriginal people have used the bark for making canoes, for making shelter, for fire starting. There's a fungus that grows on birch, it's called chaga. I use that for my tea. It's a very, very good all-around tonic. Balsam fir trees, the blisters on those trees actually were used to heal cuts and scrapes. You cut yourself in the woods, the first thing we'll do is put some balsam fir sap on it. Society now is so fast. I think the world really needs to slow down and just enjoy nature and the smells and the sights and sounds. Well, this is where it all started in the beginning. It was from our plants, and our animals and that kind of thing. Why not go back to the beginning and get back to our roots again? It's very important for the Mi'kmaq people to embrace native tradition. For many, many years, we were told not to be Aboriginal, and I think now society has embraced Aboriginal peoples, and we should embrace our history in the sense of traditional medicines and traditional foods. I think it's all a part of the culture that we've lost. So now we have an opportunity to reach out and find ourselves again.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
Hello, everyone. This month, we have a jam-packed lineup at the Arts and Culture Centre. Starts on October 4th with Kelly Russell, who's going to tell the story of his journey from rebellious teen to Order of Canada recipient. Starting with piano lessons with his mom and his dreams of becoming a rock star, the play revisits the early days of Kelly's career, the formation of iconic bands like Figgy Duff and the Wonderful Grand Band, his friendships with Rufus Ginchard and Emile Benoit, the creation of his own record label, and travels worldwide. Throughout the show, Kelly will play piano, guitar, mandolin, bouzouki, concertina, dulcimer, and of course the fiddle. He's going to share some of his father's beloved tales from Pigeon Inlet as well. So it's an evening not to be missed. On October 9th, we have an evening of modern dance. This dance will feature solos, duets, trios from the vibrant repertoire of Nova Dance. On October 11th, the Arts and Culture Centre presents Nisitunano, Our Voices. Stories, songs, drums, and dance performed by Indigenous women. Starring Diantha Edmonds, Leah Dawn Helena, Phoebe Skinner-Gill, with Ashley Dicker, Janie Perrier, and Annabelle Edmonds-Ramsey. This is followed on October 16th by Owen Mack, a rising star from Ireland and a fan favorite. Owen will perform country music, Irish music, and some gospel music. On October 17th, we have Mick Davis, who's a founder of the band The Novaks, and he's going to offer up an intimate evening of Bob Dylan, spanning his career highlights from the 60s peace anthem Blowin' in the Wind to the psychedelic Mr. Tambourine Man and romantic songs like Sweetheart Like You and Make You Feel My Love. On October 19th, we have a Concert of Hope, presented by the Eating Disorder Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, featuring the band Kitchen Party. On October 24th, hailing from County Waterford, Danu is one of the leading traditional Irish ensembles of today. The group's high-energy performances and a glorious mix of ancient Irish music and new repertoire makes this a night not to be missed. On October 27th, we bring you the acclaimed play, Don't Give Up on Me, Dad. And this is writer Andy Jones' very personal story about the insight, courage, and unique humor of his son Louis as he battled with the mental and emotional anguish that led to his suicide. The one-man show is Andy's heartfelt and sometimes humorous analysis of Louis' long journey through the healthcare system. In this new work, Andy lends his voice to the rising cry for compassion, care, and a quantum leap in funding for research into mental illness. This show deals with sensitive subject matter and is not suitable for younger audiences. Highlights in November include Shannon Gannock, The Rowdy Men, Broadway Blues Band, Off-Broadway Players Bright Star, a musical by Steve Martin, Piano Men, presented by Evan Smith, which is a night of Billy Joel and Elton John, Tombolo, Barry Mary, The Irish Descendants Christmas, and Tim Baker. December's even going to be more exciting, so there's lots of opportunities to get out and enjoy live performance. See you at the show.
Come to where the land and the spirits are intertwined. Discover a whole new way to see this place. Feel the earth under your feet as you walk the path of our ancestors. Immerse yourself in our traditions. Ours is a culture alive with music, dance, art, nature, and adventure. It's in the air, the water, the sound of the wind in the trees. It's in the stories of our elders and the faces of our children, those with a shared history yet to discover. It's knowing that everything that casts a shadow has a spirit. Everything is alive. See what we see. Experience Malibu.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
That's a wrap on today's episode. I want to thank my buddy Alex McLean for taking a few minutes to chat with us about his story and where things are going, and as well thank the wonderful venues of Corner Brook for telling us about the exciting events coming up this month. That's it. We'll be back next Tuesday night with another episode of West Talk.
Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Email us at comments@rogerstv.com or visit our website.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
This pitching clinic so far.
I'm Kevin Gosman, and this is the art of pitching.
We had a plan. Catcher, pitching coach, and I talked about before.
Just attack guys from pitch one.
Huge strikeout.
When it comes to, like, body language of the hitter, it's more so like how aggressive they are.
He is some kind of locked in right now.
You look at if they move or try to get closer to the plate, the more that I can keep the pressure on them, they can't get in the rhythm.
He understands the art of pitching.
You're watching Rogers TV.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy